What's up, y'all? It's your boy JTMM, aka JustTenMoreMinutes, aka the Freakin 10, back again on this Tuesday. And it's kind of bittersweet because, covering the warning now, for every Tuesday and Thursday for the past couple of months, has just been this amazing experience. And to close this album out, after closing out Queen of the Murder Scene and the first one they released, it's now to the point, where we're getting to like the TED Talks, and then some of those concerts, they did like the one where Ollie wasn't present, and they did kind of that on the spot with just Pow and Dany, and then getting into Evolve. Yeah, it's bittersweet because, man, this album from top to bottom, even Wildfire, the more I've listened to it, I like it. It's just they don't freaking miss. I mean, Wildfire for the longest time was one that I couldn't connect with, but I re-listened to it and I was like, makes sense. And it grew on me. And so it's like, it's one of those where I'm like, man, just let's hear some more from that time frame. But now it's just getting excited about what's to come. So when you think about a river soul in this sense, and writing a song about a river soul, I'm very interested to see how they go with this because, a river, if you were to say it had a soul, it's always wandering. Right. And that's wondering as far as, exploring new areas and, kind of just flowing. And I'm wondering what relation they'll put into that and how they'll kind of intertwine that with River Soul, because, just thinking about it now is if I was to write a song about a river soul, it would be about, would you say it's really free? That's the question to me, right? Because while a river is free flowing, it's confined by its banks. And so it's free to flow, but not free to expand. Interesting concept. Huh. I mean, I don't really think about a lot of these things just because of my daily activities on how some of these songs might go. But that's a really cool concept because, as I said, yeah, it free flows, but it's still confined. So how would you put that into a song? Let's find out.
Drown yourself in the river, bring along the other sinners, burn down with the flame.
Interesting. It's different. The opening is different in the sense of, you know, I mean, it really just kind of, I say the beginning, one, you know, not the opening as far as what she was saying, but once they actually, you know, went full fledged. Drown yourself in the river, bring along the other sinners, burn down with the flame. Drown yourself in the river, bring along the other sinners, burn down with the flame. When I look back in my life, I regret the mistakes I made. Now I don't know what I'll find in my search for a new way of life. There must be someone out there who understands the way I feel. I cannot be alone in this. Drown yourself in the river, bring along the other sinners, burn down the flame. Burn down with the flame. Let the waves take control. Don't be afraid of what's to come. Just go with the flow of the river's soul. You know, part of me wants to kind of go with a baptism type of thing and starting a new life through a baptism. But I don't know that's what they're going for. Just because they, but then it says bring along the other sinners, right? I mean, burn down with the flame. Talking about mistakes and searching for a new way of life, and that for a lot of people is kind of, you know, going into the church. Now, I will say, one thing that catches me on this one is the vocals are not as prevalent. And they don't stand out as much. They go along with the music more than some of the other songs where they're very, you know, upfront with it. And I'm trying to decide whether I like that or not, because I really like when they sing and their vocals are so great. I love them to be out front with that. But not all songs require that. You can have a vocal that accompanies music instead of the music accompanying the vocal. Let's see where they go with this. This is an interesting song. I love that right there. That one is so different. And not necessarily in a bad way. You know, they've done a lot of relationship songs, and they've done a lot of inner being songs and things like that. But this one's like an exploratory song for them because there's so many different dynamics within it. You know, there's that part where they go in, I can't see the light in your eyes, and they completely changed the beat of the song. I shouldn't say completely changed it, but it just went into this different aspect of like, what are you doing here? But I love that they experiment with that type of stuff and throwing different things in. You know, you heard at the end of when she's singing, and you kind of heard, I heard Pow, I think, and maybe Ollie a little bit in the background of saying something. I'm not quite sure what they're saying. Um, while Dany is singing, cool little aspect just to kind of the voices in the head type of thing, right? And they mentioned that I hearing my inner voice. So you could almost say that while Dany's singing, though, they're acting as that inner voice, which again, really cool. I'm processing in my head whether I like it or not, and whether it resonates with me. I like the vocal, or I like the lyrics, and I could tell that this was something they were trying some new things with. But I like it. It it's so different. That's what's catching me off guard, right? It's not their standard, you know, relationship heartbreak, finding the light. You know, I've been, you know, hurt by this person and I want revenge. I mean, a lot of, they have a lot of songs that from a that they write from different aspects about certain things. And that's not a bad thing because they tell different stories from different perspectives. And I absolutely freaking love it. It's what keeps me coming back to them. If I wasn't interested, trust me, look at the bands that have fallen off of my list of videos that I just couldn't get into. But they just change stuff up. And I guess really, I mean, pun intended, but you know, ending it here and then doing a album called Evolve. This is that perfect song to go into that because they are evolving. I'm hearing my inner voice, round and round in my mind it goes. It's telling me to forgive myself for the moments wasted and spent. Now I've learned from my painful past not to worry about my messed up mind. All the lies I leave behind. Man, that is so true. How often do we beat ourselves up for past mistakes? You know, situations that we didn't like to be in where, you know, we did things that we normally wouldn't. And thinking about how our minds are messed up when it turns out that, you know, it's not any more messed up than, you know, our neighbor's mind, right? Drown yourself in the river, bring along the other sinners, burn down with the flame. Let the waves take control. Don't be afraid of what's to come, just go with the flow. I can't see the light in your eyes since your lies took over your mind. I know you're confused, but your ways never worked for us. So now you must choose to win or lose. You know, that in itself is a interesting verse. I can't see the light in your eyes since your lies took over your mind. I know you're confused, but your ways never worked for us. So now you must choose to win or lose. And that obviously, or I shouldn't say obviously, that to me in my interpretation would almost be like the preacher giving the baptism and saying, you know, since your lies took over your mind, I can't see the light in your eyes. You know, you're just kind of dead inside. go with the flow, come back, you know. That's just my interpretation. Drown yourself in the river, bring along the other sinners, burn down with the flame, let the waves take control. Don't be afraid of what's to come. Just go with the flow of the river's soul. Those are good, deep lyrics. The more I've thought about it, the more I really like it. It's a good, deep song with a lot of meaning behind it that yeah, says a lot. Yeah, that's good. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Great way to end that one. All right, I'm gonna check out a couple lives, and see where that takes us. You know, again, Dakota Bar, Aqua Free. If there's any more stories, I love those stories. God, do I love those stories. And then we'll get into Thursday probably with the TED Talks, and you know, maybe a couple before we jump into Evolve, you know, some more Dany days if there's more out there. You know, anything that I haven't kind of covered if there's leading up to going into Evolve. That's my plan. You know, this is just a fascinating journey, and I apologize for kind of being scatterbrained, but this one is a very deep song. You know, a lot of them are very clear with their message, but when you think about that, I can't see the light in your eyes since the lies took over your mind. It throws a different perspective of things, of an outsider looking into your eyes and saying, I can't see that same shine that I saw before. You know, whether it's someone that's struggling with, I mean, I guess you could really say multiple ways, right? It's not necessarily just about, you know, baptism. It's anybody bringing themselves out of something, or a friend reaching out and saying, hey, I don't see that same light in your eyes. So, I mean, there's many different ways as you think about it, but it's a good, deep song that does get you to think. And that's, again, one of those things with their music that it does that I absolutely love. All right, let's check out the live versions. My mind just keeps going of different ways to interpret it, and I absolutely freaking love it. Yeah, this one grows on me. This is a deep thought song that you really just kind of have to sit there and go, huh. And that's what I love about my channel. You know, and I apologize for not being as active in the comments. Again, I record these. It's now turning 5 a.m. I've been going at this for now an hour. And that's what it takes in order for me to get these out and then go throughout the day, you know, with a full-time job, you know, 3 kids, wife, and a life outside of there that you know. So I apologize for not being as active in the comments. It's not something I'm making a conscious effort to go, oh, I don't want to go do that. I just don't have the time right now. So I apologize for that. But that's not stopping me from creating the videos and diving into those. I do scan the comments, you know, to say, hey, what are they wanting me to check out? I just don't have the time to respond and get as involved as I was before. So I apologize for that. That being said, got a couple more versions coming out. I'll see you in those. Man, what a good song to close this one out. All right. Y'all know who I am and what I'm about. I'm JTMM. Like, subscribe, and share. I'm out.